Tata Curvv many times before, many different forms, but this one really finally is the one that you can buy from September 2nd onwards. And here's what you get with it. Now from the front, it's really quite similar to the Nexon EV. Not much has really changed. Of course, you get this openable flap from the Punch that has come here, which the Nexon EV does not have. And just like that, you get this frunk. It's an 11-liter space, so maybe you can store your charging cable. We don't really know. It's still too small to be of any use otherwise, but it's there. Now, of course, the DRL signature, you've seen it also doubles up as a charging indicator. So all those functions are there. And like the Nexon EV, there's that differentiator. You have these panels, these etched panels to differentiate from the more sort of outward look of the ICE. The side profile is where things have completely changed. Now, Tata isn't calling this a development of the Nexon, it's calling this a new architecture, and there seems to have gone a lot of work into strengthening this frame. And Tata Motors says that there will be more products coming from it, but the Curvv EV and the IC are the first products that have actually come. So there are some differences. Now you'll notice the tires, they're really chunky, 255 with 18 inches, so you have that really chunky look to it. And this is the design specific to the EV, this flat, more air-efficient design. Now you have these mirrors, you've seen them in pretty much every Tata car with a 360-degree cameras fitted right onto it. And this being an accessorized version, you have some of these bits here, like this here, and this sort of enhancement over here. But these are accessories, and you will have to buy them separately. But yeah, this is the big new addition. This is the flush door handle. Now this is usually illuminated like you just saw, and I can just open it and pull it like this. I don't know how easy it is to use in the real world. That we'll see in our review that comes soon. Now ground clearance is 180 mm, again pretty decent for an EV. But Tata Motors says that it has 450 mm of wading depth, which should be useful, especially considering it's the monsoon. So you know how the street gets flooded, that will be useful. And there have been some changes made to the dynamics too with this heavily revised architecture. So the center of gravity has actually gone down by 60 mm, so that should mean better handling. Now of course, you've seen this before, we've done walkarounds on the Curvv before. So you have this sort of slight double bubble to the roof and this heavily raked windscreen, which gives it that coupe shape, and this really quite exaggerated full width lighting with this depth here. It really makes the car stand out. It's got a big boot. But here's one more feature. That flush door handle was one, and here's another feature that's a segment first in this C segment that this SUV is coming into. It's this power tailgate function. Now you will see that you get a 500-liter boot that's quite sizable, and you also get a 60-40 split function, which increases this up to 973 liters. So practicality, even though this is an EV and a coupe, has not been hampered all that much. Now you have some amenities here, a few hooks to store your stuff, and this small socket which is pretty useful. It's for the charging port, a sort of backup switch for the charging port, and of course the subwoofer for the 9-speaker JBL audio, and some hidden storage here as well. Now I'll quickly take you through the charging options and the powertrain. Now you can charge it up to 70 kilowatt, which Tata Motors says will add 150 kilometers in 15 minutes. That's okay, it's slightly faster than what they were offering. Now in terms of the specs, it's got a 55 kilowatt hour battery pack, higher battery density and so on and so forth. The motor has been sort of reworked for better acceleration, better rolling acceleration, and you get about 585 kilometers on the MIDC cycle, although Tata Motors says that 400 to 425 is what you can expect in the real world. Now in terms of outputs, you get 167 PS. We don't know the torque figure just yet. We'll probably put it down below. And it'll do 0 to 100 in 8.6 seconds and go up to a 160 km per hour top speed. Now, as you can see, the dashboard itself very similar to the Nexon EV. A very similar color scheme. This section is different. It's got a nicer textured feel to it. This ridge feels really nice. This one we've already said feels quite nice, so all that is good, not changed, no problem at all. But this, now we've been asking Tata this for a while. There's finally a new Tata key, and to be honest, it's hefty. It feels really well made, fully metallic, so that's a great addition. Now I'll quickly take you through the features. Now this driver's seat is power adjusted. You get a ventilation function for both the front seats as well. Of course, these two screens, this 12.3-inch one and this driver instrument cluster, has all the features that it already had, the PM 2.5 filter, the IRA app with the added features including that charge app aggregator, the JBL sound modes, all of those things, the navigation which comes even here, the 360-degree cameras, all of those are there. Similarly, you have the drive mode functions here, this panel for the touch controls. So none of that has actually changed from the Nexon EV. Now this is what the back seat of the Tata Curvv is like. This is the EV version, and this is how much space I have now. This wheelbase, it's gone up over the Nexon to about 62 mm more, and you really do notice the difference. I mean, I do have a lot more knee and legroom from the Nexon. It's nowhere near as cramped, and the seat base too has been reworked. So now I think the seat base between this and the IC version are slightly different, especially this hump here, considering I'm assuming the floor in this one is higher. So but still, I mean, whatever they've done, you can see that I have a good deal of underside support, unlike many EVs, which is a great positive. And yeah, like I said, the space is really not much of an issue. Now there are quite a few new features here too, this panoramic sunroof being one of them. It's not the largest, but it's there, and you also get mood lighting around it. Now the door cards themselves, not very different from the Nexon. Yeah, you have the same 9-speaker JBL audio system, the same 45-watt charging, rear AC vents. But a new touch is the reclining seat function, and you also get a center armrest here. Now of course, this being a coupe, headroom is compromised. Now for me, it's not much of a problem. I have about this much space. But if you are anywhere close to 6 feet tall, this will be a problem for you. Even though Tata Motors has sort of scooped out this section here. Now prices for the Tata Curvv, the EV version start from rupees 17.49 lakh, and this top end version that you see in front of me goes up to 22 lakhs, 21.99 to be precise. But what do you think of it? Is it a big step up over the Nexon EV? And would you pick these over the whole host of conventional SUVs that you can buy at its price? Let us know in the comments.